angalita ita sunuza ndio ita bamulesu ndio hakuma Yusuf al-Bedil alibu baadi iko baadi Ezra bukon pia to shirika bigedi khadamat ya muwati ndio baada ko yali tadira amri kan bi shirika dawo tadira shirika min nas Ezra وبدا فولو تقاليد بتاعه يلا توالي ديكوت وكلي ديكوت من بلد كله ليه لانه ده بيوري انه انا اجي بجد اجي شفت ابدا على الحكومه بتاعها الشركه اللي بتقدم خدمات زي دي انا يتكا اللي بيقدم خدمه وتابع لاجنبي دي بيساعد لنا بيعمل لنا تابع زمان وبيستفيد الحكومه ده بمعنى اذا كان الحكومه سكت في معاده اذا خلاص هو علينا دورنا انتهى بمعنى بورينه علينا خلاص بقينا رخانه عاوزنا نمنا كله لاجانب شو انا بقول لك بدأ للجهات المسؤوله اللي هارون ده دليل يصدر امر يجي في كلام في غدا كل الاجانب اللي بيرفعوا راس يصدروا حاجات ويرجعوا له تقاليد بتاعه ويرجع للبلد بتاعه.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, this is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. The trial of suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and co-accused are resumed this morning at Freedom Hall for day 6 of the proceedings. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, says floods have killed 19 people and affected nearly 640,000 others across South Sudan as of October 2nd. And a group of opposition leaders has broken away from the South Sudan Opposition Alliance, SOA, is splitting the coalition into two factions and naming Agriculture Minister Hussein Abdelbagi Akol as its new leader. Tune in for these stories and more coming to you in our news bulletin with me, Walma Paul. Now the news in detail. The trial of suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and co-accused has resumed this morning at Freedom Hall for day 6 of the proceedings. The special court is expected to read out the statement of Dr. Riek Machar and the 3 remaining accused during the investigation. Machar is accused number 5 in the Nasser incident case. On Monday, the court had the statement from the first to 4th accused, where the presiding judge, James Alal, ordered the adjournment, saying the investigator was exhausted. iRadio understands that today's trial is also being held off camera. During Monday's session, Chief Investigator Major General Basilowani Armanu read out the statements of defendants recorded during investigations. The statements included those from suspended Petroleum Minister Port Kang Chul and other defendants including Gadwich Lampoch and Gabriel Duab Lam, Deputy Chief of Defense Forces and Acting Chief of Staff of the SPLA-IO. Dr. Machar, leader of the SPLA-IO, and 7 members of his party are facing charges including treason, murder and crimes against humanity for their alleged role in the Nasser clashes. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, says floods have killed 19 people and affected nearly 640,000 others across South Sudan as of October 2nd. According to a report seen by iRadio, the victims were recorded in 26 counties across 6 states, with Jonglei and Unity states accounting for more than 87% of the caseload. OCHA said the 19 deaths were reported in Jonglei, Unity and Northern Bahar Ghazali states. It also recorded 104 snake bites and 3,391 malnutrition cases in 11 counties. Nearly 175,000 people are displaced and sheltering on higher ground in 16 counties. The agency warns that many are exposed to rising health risks, with cases of malaria, respiratory infections and diarrhea being reported. In Jonglei, an interagency team carried out a rapid assessment on October 1st in Kwerinyang, Barboy, Payam, Fanga County after heavy rains on September 30 submerged the entire area. OCHA said around 44,000 people were affected, including families already displaced by conflict in near Fangak. The floods have destroyed infrastructure in the Payam, leaving the office, market and public facilities, including health centers, non-functional. Communities are now building dikes and trying to drain water to prevent further flooding. OCHA said humanitarian partners are providing life-saving aid, but access is still difficult due to impassable roads, especially in Unity Upper Nile and Jonglei states. The agency confirmed that 3.2 metric tons of medical supplies have been delivered to Twitch East in Jonglei and Panyajar in Unity. Another 78 metric tons are being pre-positioned in high-risk areas of Jonglei, Upper Nile, Warab, Eastern Equatoria, and Abyei administrative area. Elsewhere, a group of opposition leaders has broken away from the South Sudan Opposition Alliance, is splitting the coalition into two factions and naming Agriculture Minister Hussein Abdel Baghi Akol as its new leader. In a statement seen by iRadio, the new alliance said its leadership council met on 30th September in Juba and resolved to fully comply with its charter and regulations. The meeting was attended by leaders of members' parties, including Hussein Abdel Baghi of the South Sudan Patriotic Movement, Clement Juma of the National Movement for Change, Chankwad Bichok of the Federal Democratic Party, and Dr. Gessim Barnaba of the National Salvation Front, among others. After lengthy deliberations, the alliance decided to restructure its leadership positions, including chairperson, deputy chairperson, secretary general, and coordinators. According to the statement, Hussein Abdel Baghi Akol, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security and chairperson of the South Sudan Patriotic Movement, has been named chairperson of the splinter group. Chankwad Bichok Reth, chairperson of the Federal Democratic Party, was appointed as the group secretary general. Reth explained what happened in the following interview.
Two groups. Okay, the SAWA that is being led by Hussein Abdel Baghi, and the other SAWA is being led by Josephine. And all the parties to the SAWA parties, they are all divided into two groups. So this is one of the groups that we believe that this is the main group that is heading the SAWA, and we have restructured our structure so that we do what is in the charter and the regulation of SAWA. And that's why you can even see that we have mentioned the articles, and the SAWA, the leadership of SAWA is always rotational month basis, and but for the last whatever, Josephine has been there for almost 5 years, and we have tried to make sure that let's have the rotation as it was in the agreement.
The breakaway effectively divides the SAWA, which was the second largest opposition coalition in the 2018 peace agreement after the SPLM-IO. The new group said the move aims to end polarization within the alliance and strengthen unity as parties work to implement the 2018 peace agreement. Reth called on all other signatories to the agreement, including SPLM, SPLM-IO, OPP, and the former detainees, to engage and communicate with the new leadership team. Authorities in Twitch County, Warab State, say 16 members of the Joint Security Forces deployed to guard Turale Town Market have been arrested after SSP 18 million was stolen from a shop during a robbery on Thursday night. Commissioner John Mabior Morup told iRadio that the 16 personnel from the night patrol unit were on duty when the break-in occurred around 1 a.m. The robbers targeted a shop belonging to Sudanese trader Adam Salaman Hadam. They reportedly broke the padlock and stole SSP 18 million from a box along with several goods. Marup said the security personnel were arrested for negligence and will be investigated for sleeping on duty. He spoke to iRadio this morning.
Yeah, this is a responsibility because I'm saying those who were working at night, it is going to be asked why they were sleeping. All the theft the market at night, and that is why I'm saying to my people, please give us this soldier and let them to investigate properly because there is sometimes there is a network, and that is why I need these people to be investigated properly, and then they be able to research to get that fact who are working at night in the market.
He added that a joint network may have been involved, but a thorough investigation is required. You're listening to iRadio News. A contract law expert has said that Ezra Construction and Development Group has no legal grounds to reject a presidential order cutting electricity tariffs in Juba. This comes after Ezra, which generates power in the capital, instructed the distributor JETCO not to implement the order, citing concerns over protecting its investment. In a memo dated October 1st and seen by iRadio, the company directed JETCO to continue operations based on existing contracts. Ezra also called for urgent talks with the Ministry of Energy and the South Sudan Electricity Corporation to discuss the directive. However, Advocate Muinluak Agur said a presidential order is legitimate and binding and must be implemented unless overturned by a court.
الأمر ده زي ما نحن عارفينه يعني جات نتيجة لتقرير بتاعت اللجنة الرئاسية اللي كونوا رئيس الجمهورية في وقت سابق، وده كان اللجنة ده كونوا الرئيس عشان تتحقق في موضوع بتاعت التعرفة بتاعت الكهرباء. التقرير مقدمة من خبراء مختصين في هذا الشأن، بموجبه أصدر الرئيس الأمر الرئاسي بموجب التوصية من اللجنة اللي كان كونه. هو كما هو معروف بأنه رئيس الجمهورية يعني بموجب الدستور الانتقالي هو السلطة الأعلى المخول له عشان يحمي مصلحة بتاعة الشعب. فالبند 101 من الدستور الانتقالي لسنة 2011 المعدل بدي الرئيس الحق في تكوين لجان وطبعا مراجعة كل أي حاجة متعارض مع مصلحة بتاعة الشعب. فده سلطة بتاعة رئيس الجمهورية إنه يكون اللجنة ويطلع أوامر وفقا لتوصية بتاعة اللجنة ده.
Agur added that rejecting the directive through a company memo has no legal effect. He stressed that if Ezra disputes the order, the proper way is to challenge it in the Supreme Court.
فطبعا الأوامر الرئاسية أو الأمر الرئاسي لا يمكن أن ترفض بخطاب، بل القانون كفل للمضرور أو الزول المتضرر من الأمر ده عشان يلجأ للمحكمة، وبعد ذلك ممكن يقدم طعن حول الأمر الرئاسي ده، وبموجبه ممكن بعد ذلك يعني المحكمة يطلع أمر وقف التنفيذ. لكن الأمر يعتبر ساري من تاريخ صدورها، يعني فيتوجب على السلطة التنفيذية تنفيذ الأمر الرئاسي ما لم يكن هناك أمر وقف التنفيذ. فإذا أي خطاب يصدر من أي جهات يعتبر إنه الخطاب ده لا معنى لها، لأنه ده أمر رئاسي صادر من رئيس الجمهورية.
Meanwhile, civil society activist Edmond Yakani also questioned how a private company could openly challenge the authority of the president. Yakani said the order was likely based on technical review and not a spontaneous decision. He further highlighted the high cost of electricity in Juba, which he said has crippled small businesses and affected low-income families.
We are getting information that the orders of the president is rejected by Ezra Company, who owns JETCO as electricity corporation that provide powers for public in Juba City. My question that I like to raise is, who is there more powerful that undermine an order of a head of a state like His Excellency President? And I'm quite sure that the order of the president didn't merge out of blue. The order of the president might have undergone a lot of technical preparation to shape the decision that were enshrined in the order of the president. Electricity in Juba is very expensive to citizens, and these have huge impact on businesses, and these have created barriers for also creation of businesses by a low income or middle class or actually poor families that want to use electricity for running some small scale businesses. But electricity is very expensive.
According to reports, South Sudan has some of the highest electricity prices in East Africa, with limited supply and high operational cost blamed for the challenge. And finally, before the regional international stories as well as sports, the Ministry of Roads and Bridges and the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs have agreed to work together in addressing legal challenges affecting road and bridge projects across the country. The agreement was reached yesterday when Roads and Bridges Minister Simon Mijok led a delegation to the Ministry of Justice, where he met with Justice Minister Dr. Joseph Gang Akech. The meeting focused on resolving legal issues to ensure contracts with contractors are binding and enforceable. Engineer John Kenyi Sasa, the acting undersecretary in the Ministry of Roads and Bridges, said his ministry is facing numerous contractual disputes that require legal opinions before projects can move forward. He thanked the Ministry of Justice for its continued support and called for a closer collaboration between the two institutions. He was speaking on a state TV SSBC yesterday.
We had a lot of cases that we needed the Ministry of Justice to know and support us in overcoming all the challenges that we have. Issues to do with the contracts, again, we have a lot of issues that we needed a legal opinion and legal procedures so that we can be able to proceed with contracts that are legally binding with the contractors. We thank very much the Ministry of Justice for supporting us in a lot of contracts. Obviously, we work with the Ministry of Justice for legal issues that we are overseeing at the Ministry of Roads and Bridges. Today we discussed a lot of issues, have resolved some of them. Some needs follow-up, and we have agreed that some of the legal issues will be following up with the Ministry of Justice together with our legal advisor who is assigned to the Ministry.
Meanwhile, the Undersecretary in the Ministry of Justice, Mary Hajith, said the discussions centered on strengthening cooperation between the two ministries, particularly on contract management and pending cases. She confirmed that some issues were resolved while others will require follow-up with legal advisors.
On behalf of the ministry, we discussed a lot of issues connected with the cases, pending cases in the Ministry of Roads and Bridges. And again, we discussed a lot of issues on contract issues, and we resolved some of the issues and the way forward from there. So we really appreciate the Ministry of Roads and Bridges for them coming up to come and notify some of those concerned issues to the Ministry of Justice, and we really appreciate on that.
You're listening to iRadio News, and now to the regional international stories brought to you by Prestige Millers Company Limited. Here is my colleague Madrama James.
From the national events to stories that shape our world, it's time for international news brought to you by Prestige Miller Limited.
Two Kenyan human rights activists have gone missing in Uganda after reportedly being abducted by armed men while attending opposition leader Bobi Wine's campaign event. Bobi Wine strongly condemned the abduction of Bob Ngaji and Nicholas Oyo, saying the pair had been picked up in a mafia style at a petrol station and driven off to unknown destination. Uganda police spokesperson Kitumba Risoke told the BBC the two were not in their custody. Kenya's Interior Minister Kichumba Mukome said that foreign affairs officials were working to ensure their safe release. Elsewhere, Dami Saram has been named as the new Archbishop of Canterbury designate, the first woman to be chosen for the role. A former NHS chief nurse, the 63-year-old became a priest in 2006 and was appointed as the first female Bishop of London in 2018, the third most senior member of clergy in the Church of England. It is the first time in nearly 500 years of history that the church nominated a woman to lead. The church has been without someone in the top job for almost a year after Justin Welby resigned over a safeguarding scandals. And finally, President Donald Trump has said he and his budget director will work out which Democrat agencies to cut as the U.S. government shutdown approaches its third day. He suggested Republicans should seize the opportunity to clear out the dead wood and gave no hint of concessions to Democrats' demand that legislation funding the government should include health care insurance subsidies. Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill continue to blame each other for failing to keep federal agencies open.
That was international news. We thank our proud sponsors, Prestige Miller Limited, for bringing you the bulletin. Stay tuned for more stories right here on iRadio.
And up next, Darlington Moses with sports stories. Thank you so much, Walma Paul. In the world of sport, starting with home news, in Juba, derby yesterday at Labara FC and Qatar FC played out a goalless draw in the South Sudan Premier League. The result means Malakia Juba remain at top of the table with 4 points from 2 matches, closely followed by Holy Family, who also have 4 points. Today, Jammus FC are set to play their first league match against El Ghazal. Wow, the newcomers to the top flight. The league will pause on October 6 to allow the national team to prepare for the upcoming World Cup qualifying matches against Senegal and Togo. And some great highlights from the UEFA Europa and Conference League. Nottingham Forest manager Ange Postecoglou added that he was not surprised by the fans calling for his dismissal after their 3-2 Europa League defeat to Midtjylland on Thursday night, while Crystal Palace marked their first major European campaign in the style, beating Dynamo Kyiv 2-0 in Poland in the Europa Conference League, and Lille goalkeeper Barca Ozer produced late heroics, serving 3 consecutive penalties to seal victory over Roma after an early strike from Hakon Arnar Haraldsson gave the French sides the lead. However, Aston Villa extended their winning streak in the Europa League with John McGinn again on the score sheets in a lively win against Feyenoord. And finally, Great Britain's Funmi Odoaye won bronze in the F44 sword put at the World Para Athletics Championships in New Delhi. The 22-year-old threw a personal best effort of 12.11 meters with her first throw of the competition. Aduwaye's 5 remaining efforts were red flagged as she finished behind China's Yao Zhuan and the United States' Areli Middleton. There is definitely more to come, she said. Aduwaye said, "I know I can do a lot more. It's nice to get the appreciations of the bronze medal for now. Thanks." This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Walma Paul. Vote of thanks, Madrama James for the sports, Darlington Moses for the sports. And here brings us to the end of our bulletin for now, but first, let's have a quick recap once again. The trial of suspended first Vice President Dr. Riek Machar and co-accused has resumed this morning at Freedom Hall for day 6 of the proceedings. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, says floods have killed 19 people and affected nearly 640,000 others across South Sudan as of October 2nd. And finally, a group of opposition leaders has broken away from the South Sudan Opposition Alliance, SOA, is splitting the coalition into 2 factions and naming Agriculture Minister Hussein Abdel Baghi Akol as its new leader. That is the end of our radio news. If there is a story or an event you would like our radio to cover or report about, please send us a text message on +211 925 287 870. It's also our WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba, like our Facebook page, iRadio Sport. As for now, while our technical team continues to tackle the technical issue on our main official page until it's brought back. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iradio.org. Stay tuned for news in Arabic at half past the hour. I am Walma Paul on behalf of the news team. Thank you for listening.
Sounds of the Week on